All right, guys. Even Blue Ridge does not take any time off for holidays. Yes, that's right. We have a pocket change market report for the week ending. No, we don't. We don't have a pocket change market report. Gotcha. It's a Monday market report. That's what it says on screen. So you're just going to have to take my word for it. But yes, week ending, December 25th. You guys know what today is. 2022. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Hopefully everyone had a nice relaxful day. You guys got a nice full tummy. And hopefully you guys got some TV and other stuff in, some other activities with the family, like I did. But I still have time to do a Monday market report for you guys. And yes, great collections certainly did end up with some sales here today. Surprisingly, not as quiet as you think. People were shopping today. So that was kind of nice. We have a couple high profile coins, including like kind of one of the top coins being a 1973 Jefferson nickel. Yeah, stay tuned for that one. That one's pretty crazy. But overall, yeah, we definitely had some activity today. It wasn't as dead as we all thought it might be. But, you know, when an auction house does have some marquee pieces out there for the taking, whether it's for a registry set or just a really nice type coin, people will show up. And show up they did. We have a couple really nice high-end sales here on the list. So, yeah, I figure we're going to go ahead and jump right into this. Again, all of the listings today we're going to be talking about are from great collections. So if you have some pretty high-profile pieces that you are interested in selling, consign with these fellows at GC. You won't go wrong. They do weekly listings and auctions and all that great stuff. And they're probably one of the top auction companies for coins and currency today. So, or if you're buying a nice coin for your collection, that's a great place too. I bought one this evening, and yeah, I treated myself for a good old Christmas coinage. So, yeah, let's go ahead and jump right in and get you guys on about your evening. So the first three coins obviously are going to be registry set driven. There's really no reason why you would buy any of these other than to participate in PCGS's or NGC's registry set. Again, it's a points-based system if you're not familiar with it. It's really, a playground for a lot of deep pockets people that really enjoy coins. And that's where they all sit. And that's why a lot of look at this, 2010D Lincoln Shield cent is on the list for a reason. I just don't put coins like this all willy-nilly on this list unless it has some sort of cachet to it. And this one sure does. This one right here is a PCGS Mid-State 67 red. It's a very tough date, actually, to attain this grade level, whereas some of the other Shield cents, you just have no problem finding 68s and the occasional 69 grade. But 2010 Denver's, it's tough. It's the first year right out of the gate with this new reverse design on here that's kind of got like mixed reviews, among a lot of people today. Especially folks that collect Lincoln cents. They're not, they'll see this reverse and like kind of roll their eyes way back into their head. But yeah, this one right here, just really registry set written all over it, sold for $1,406.25 this evening. I personally wouldn't try grading any of these, or anything registry set, centric. You're just gonna have a hard time, especially when grading at the highest level on moderns is I don't know. I really don't. I tried it. It didn't work out for me for obvious reasons. Same with this one here too. 1992 Lincoln Memorial cent. Pretty nice grade on this. PCGS assigned a Mint State 68 plus full red on this one. The scratches that you see on the coin are actually on the plastic and not actually on the coin on this one. 1992, I've seen a Mint State 69 actually for this date. So this is not by any means the highest grade that you could find on a Philadelphia 92. But this one right here probably will end up being kind of like a placeholder for a Lincoln Cent registry before, another 69 pops up in the marketplace, whenever that is. They're not exactly something that grows on trees. This one sold for $1,096.88. And we also have this one here as well. Registry set, of course. 1980 Lincoln Memorial. PCGS assigned a Mint-State 67 plus full red for this coin. Kind of a tough date to find that's remotely clean and presentable. This one barely makes it. And again, registry set targeted, no doubt. Sold for $1,300.50. Now, the coolest coin thus far has to be this 1978S Lincoln Memorial Proof. Man, this thing is crazy with the just very strong, very, very light cameo frost on the devices on here. That's what you want to see, and those fields are about as dark as you can get. And that's what I like to see. I like to see just like that really sharp contrast between both on one coin, especially one that was ultimately graded as a Proof 70 red deep cameo. If you guys aren't familiar with your grading scale, 70 is the perfect grade for coin grading, period, bar none. So what does the perfect graded 78S go for? Well, not too bad, actually. $3,796.88 was the final sale price on this example this evening. And there are more proof coins to come on the list, so stay tuned. So talk about a really tough date to find, especially at the highest grade. Anything Philadelphia pre-1955, so your 50, 51, 52, 53, and 54, if you're able to obtain a Mint-State 67 red, these are all straight up really rare dates to obtain this grade. And that's why folks who collect into high-end Lincoln Cents, they will open up their wallets and probably end up getting a second mortgage on their house. Well, the people that do play in this rather deep pool of collecting, they probably don't need to do that anyways. They probably own their own home. You never know. But in any event, this is such a wild coin here. We do see these pop up, a few times out of the year, not just 53, but any of the other dates I listed for you. This one right here sold for $1,955.25. So this thing is a beast, and not too bad considering it doesn't have an S mint mark. This is a Denver struck 1931 Lincoln wheat cent. So the S mints are actually pretty common to find in grades above Mint-State 65 in comparison to a 31D, which nobody really cared about. These things were spent pretty well, and they were used in commerce and they changed hands a million times. So, this is obviously a huge target for some of those high-end registry sets, especially in a 66 plus red, which this one is. As an extra bonus ball, it is CAC green beaned as well, which certainly makes a huge difference for those collectors. This one sold for $13,893.75. It's always good to see coins of this caliber hit the marketplace, especially on Christmas Day. It kind of gives this whole report a little bit of extra spice rather than talking about nothing but $1,000 coins, which, it's happened before. So I'm glad we have seen some robust activity on the auction circuit here on a Christmas night. So yeah, pretty nice. And the final, penny denomination or 1 cent denom on the list has to be this 1903. Now, I had the choice of either one of two coins. I could have put both on here, but just to kind of keep the Christmas MMR a little bit more brief, I went with the 1903 because in all reality, this is a very common date. All right, you could find this coin anywhere. Essentially, any coin shop, any show, you could go online, pick one of these up pretty easily. However, what's not so easy is finding a full red specimen. And you could look at any date of Indian head cents and really have a hard time in assembling full red sets. Whether it's a 1900s date set of full red coins, yeah, good luck with that. These things are always targeted, not necessarily just registry sets, but there are typeset collectors. There are just really, really a deep pool of various collectors. There's even investors that look at things like this because they are truly rare. And they just seem to disappear off the market, and they stay off the market for such a long time. So where did this one end up at? How about $2,479.50 was the final hammer price on this one. It was just good to see this one. Oh, by the way, the other coin of note was the 1908S Indian head cent, which was also very nice. Sold for pretty close to what this one did, as a mid-state 64 or something like that. I mean, it was a beautiful coin, but I've talked about the 08S on a number of occasions, but very rarely do I talk about some of the more just readily available, dates like a 03, 05, 07, things like that. So I'm glad I did. So it's such a beautiful looking coin. Well, we were bound to get there, but this is the big one that just kind of like made some heads roll. Obviously, this is just a beast of a proof coin. 1973S Jefferson nickel is what the big topic coin of the week is. Proof 70. I can't remember, to be honest, the last time I talked about this coin in a proof 70. It's been quite some time. There's not a whole lot of them in existence. Yeah, sure, it's registry set eligible, I suppose. And that's probably the big reason why that you would buy this anyways. In perspective, you could certainly buy the proof set, with coins like this for right around $5-6 because there's no silver, there's nothing cool or rare about a 1973 proof set. It's just, run of the mill. And if you just wanted to buy the coin as a singular piece, there are coin shops that bust open proof sets and sell these singularly. You could buy those for about $1 or $2. So, if you did identify one that looked as sharp as this with just the really bright cameo frost offset by the deep mirrory fields, you have a real winner here. This one sold for $10,093.50. Kind of wild considering, the cost of entry for such a coin, whereas the 31D, sometimes you could spend anywhere from like $50 to $200. Oh, that Lincoln cent, by the way, that sold for $13K. You could spend a lot of money buying that coin without any guarantees, whereas something like this is so undeniably cheap that it's almost like zero risk. If you wanted to do that, and if you did identify something that looks as wild as this, I mean, you can't really go wrong with that. There's a few really cool Jefferson nickel varieties. Very, very popular, very, very coveted. Here's the 1943 over 2 Philadelphia Jefferson War nickel. So these are all manganese silver. Always a popular series. This one is a PCGS Mid-State 66 Plus with full steps. And this one sold for $1,800 this evening. Another good one here. I mean, who could argue with the good old doubled Monty on the 1939 Jefferson nickel? Customarily a very, very easily attainable variety. You could go out to the market today and buy one for around $50. I mean, they're that readily available. Not quite in this condition, but if you needed one, they're not the rarest variety out there. I would probably reserve that to being like the 42D over horizontal D as being the biggest variety within this series. But this is a popular one, much like the 55 DDO Lincoln. And because of that, this is going to be always a very good seller. So this is a PCGS Mid-State 64, no full steps, no frills. You just got that DDR on there. This one sold for $1,068.75. What a beautiful looking coin. We also have a 38D over S. We got more varieties in the works here. Another popular variety, of course, these were commonly hoarded in mint-state condition because of the release of the Jefferson nickel as well during the same year. So a lot of folks said, well, final year of the Buffalo, I'm just going to keep all of them, that they do release. So there were a number of sealed BU rolls that were cracked open, probably a good 15, 20 years ago, thereby leading kind of like this huge market explosion of many examples that typically fall in that mint state 65 to 67 range. And same goes for all the RPMs. There's two major D over S over mint marks. Here's one right here. This one is an NGC mint state 68. So it's way up there in the grading scale. And it also has really pleasing pastel toning on here. This one sold for $3,298.50. Just a stunner in every way. And I believe this is the last nickel of the day, 1921S. A really tough one here. What else can you say, especially in mint state? This is a PCGS MS64. Luster is not its strong suit on this date, along with a lot of other 1920s Buffaloes. You just don't see that too often. This one has kind of like a woody look to it, which a lot of people are endeared to. This one sold for $3,768.75. Again, 1920s Buffaloes in this kind of condition, they're always being targeted. And not just for registry sets, but also, just good old high-end collectors as well. We didn't have much in the way of dimes. 10-cent denoms have been kind of scarce here in the last month or so, but how about we talk about a few semi-notable ones? We have this 1931S, a little bit tougher date. It's not quite 1921 caliber of tough, but this one right here, it actually is one that'll fool a lot of people if you're not careful. PCGS graded this one as a mint state 66 with full bands. It's also CAC green bean. This one was able to bring home $5,181.75. Again, just showing the strength of the Mercury dime market with sales like these. Again, it's not bound to stop as we head into the new year. I'm a firm believer that the obsolete classics, prior to say like 1940 are always going to be hot. So we'll see this trend continue. Believe it or not, we have a Barber dime to talk about. We have a 1900S, a semi-tougher date, nothing too crazy, but how about a mint state 66 example? There's something to be said with that, with all of the original kind of like skin on there. This kind of like toning that's not necessarily attractive, but it does mean that the coin was never messed around with. It was never dipped or cleaned or anything like that. CAC also gave its blessing with a nice green bean on this one. This one sold for $3,124.12. We have a few quarters. How about this kind of like yellow gold tone 1978? Just basic registry set fodder right here. PCGS gave this one a mint state 67. And this one sold for $1,819.12. Again, do not invest in things like this, and try your hardest not to try and participate in finding these to grade for yourself. They're really difficult. Here's just a really bright, it looks like it was minted yesterday, 1945P, Washington quarter. Again, another high-end registry coin. PCGS gave this one a 67 plus. CAC also backed this one up as well. And it sold for $1,321.88. The final quarter of today is actually a cool one. Actually, if you were going to find one of these popular yet very scarce overdate varieties of Standing Liberty quarters, and that would be the 1918 over 7 with the S mint mark, more than likely it's going to be a low-end copy like this one. This one was graded by PCGS as genuine, cleaned fine details. So not the best looking example, but believe it or not, this is a coin that even in this condition, and the important aspect of it is if you're able to see the kind of like the top flat-headed shelf of the 7 right above the 8. This one you can barely see it, but it's there. But also the kind of like the half moon shaped circle within the top curl of the 8. If you could see something like that, even on a fine graded coin and even cleaned, that's very meaningful to collectors, because it's just a hotly pursued key variety within 20th century coinage, and this one's always going to be popular. So, even with its warts, this one did sell for $2,386.12. So be on the lookout for these. If you got scrap silver with an S mint mark, you might have something there. And then, a coin that we don't talk about, or series, this is one is going to end up the Monday market report for the week. It's actually a run-of-the-mill, very common dated 1963 Franklin half dollar. Here's a little bit of the rub on this. They're not well known for their particularly clean planchets or their strike quality. And that's the big reason why that this is one of the most expensive coins to have ended here on Great Collections this evening, is for those factors alone. NGC, this is an old holder, probably from about 15 years ago, graded example, as a mint state 66 with full bell lines. So it's got just enough of the lines that go all the way across the bottom here to give it and warrant the FBL designation. Again, that's no different than full steps or full head or full split bands, things like that. Full bell lines is kind of like it's a strike designation that's been around for a long time. There's even a couple of masters at collecting these particular coins. You've probably seen one on TV. I'm not going to give away any names, but he's been around the business for a really long time, and he's been selling and collecting and promoting these. And that's why there's a lot of popularity within the Franklin Half series. This one right here, wow, $6,879.38 was the final sales price of this beast. So that's going to go ahead and do it for this one, ladies and gents, collectors of all ages. I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound. Again, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, because more than likely our next MMR is going to be next year anyways. I believe that's Monday, right? I don't know. But in any event, what a fun year. A lot of super incredibly performed coins. And by the way, we have the Stuart Blay collection of Lincoln cents that we're going to highlight when it's all over in approximately 3 weeks. You won't want to miss that. There's already in excess, I believe, of $1 million worth of coins. All Lincoln cents, of course, that's being sold. A lot of big ones, stuff that you don't see come to market. And, Great Collections was actually the beneficiary of being able to consign such a esteemed collection of coins. So, I'll be sure sometime next month to give you the rundown on all of the final results. It's going to be amazing. But real quick, we're not going to be on the live coin Q&A live stream this coming Monday. We're going to take time off to observe the holiday, so that's tomorrow. So we'll see you a week from tomorrow for the next live coin Q&A event. But that's going to go ahead and do it, guys. I'm going to get out of here, enjoy time with family, and you guys do the same. Have a great night. Have a great Monday if you're going to kickstart your week going to work. Have a good one, and I will see you on the next coin video. So long.